this is Steve and
Janet.
How's it going?
Steve and Janet. So I'll just get you guys to share a little bit about your journey and how's this all started for you.
Yeah, you go first.
All right. I live an hour south of Ottawa, and I brought my son the Friday that everyone rolled in to experience the truckers coming to Ottawa, and we rented a hotel and continued to go down and help out as much as I could doing laundry for the truckers, and from all the way from Rideau and Sussex to the War Museum. And I ended up finding him there.
So you guys met downtown Ottawa?
Yeah, doing his laundry.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing experience, and I was super happy to bring my son there, and he brought his son there for a bit, and we ended up just making a great connection, making great friends, and around, and then more now. And now we're traveling the country together with the truck and trailer, and bringing our kids with us and our dogs. And we're here in Vancouver now, and we just met a fellow.
Yeah, so excited to meet them. Yes, it's always exciting.
Yeah, so then from my point of view, I'm only about 4.5, 5 hours away from Ottawa, so the division of my family and just other things with my son and everything. Our thoughts on the mask and the vaccine. I felt like I had to go. People drove from BC, Alberta, Manitoba, even Thunder Bay is a day alone driving. That's pretty much straight through. So I ended up going. Janet's one of the awesome people I met, and we hit it off. Long story short, everyone's seen the videos in Ottawa. I couldn't thank people enough for what has happened with the community, bringing people together. F Trudeau, but thanks for bringing everyone together, showing everyone how corrupt you and the government are as a whole. That being said, 3 weeks later, I got my truck out just in time. The day that people were getting arrested, actually. I believe that was February the 18th. I left my truck in Ottawa, kind of jumped back and forth between home, going to see Janet, and then we kind of talking about going to Vancouver. And
we missed the energy from the convoy, and it was just like if we could meet up with people with the similar interests and the same mindset and the same goal, it would be awesome to have that around us again.
Yep.
And have the kids involved in witnessing that. It's an awesome history class firsthand, and we're happy.
Yeah, so that's what we did, and now we're in Vancouver, BC, and traveling for a little bit. Yeah, so everyone knows about CBC, CTV, all the Canadian stations. They're all paid by the government to say certain things, make things look a different way. That being said, so the first week I did an interview with CBC, and it was about a 5-10 minute video, and they ended up taking one little clip out of it, and they asked me, what would it take for you to leave? And I told them, well, you guys keep talking about bringing the military in and forcing us to leave. If you end up getting the military in and forcing us to leave and, have the guns out and arrest people, yeah, then I'll probably leave. So they cut the whole interview out and they used that one part, but they started it where it said, get the military in, point guns at me, and then I'll leave. They made it seem like I was like that was almost like my proposal, like my intention, like get the military in. I'm trying to cause a problem, and that wasn't it.
Residents and council are asking, when will it all end?
Get the military in here. If there's a gun pointed at me, I might move. I do have a video somewhere on my phone. I can't find it right now, but yeah, so I ended up seeing the lady the next day. I told her, like, hey, I showed her the video, like, this is wrong what you did. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, it's the editor. And I said, well, guess what? I told everyone on this block, that block, and the block I'm on, so you're pretty much shit out of luck for interviews with truck drivers. And as far as I know, no one gave her an interview after that.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And this is the first time I'm hearing of this too, like an actual live story where CBC has actually, well, they came out and admitted that they lied already, right in the public. So, I mean, but this is just the live story of someone that they actually twisted the story. My goodness, I'm not sure. But anyways, so yeah, so I was very excited to meet them, and we think they're on their way out, as am I, but
just kind of grab some food for the kids and the dogs, and we'll get going.
Keep showing the smiles.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. So nice to meet you guys. And on 3, we will do a 1, 2, 3. Keep on trucking.
Okay. Absolutely.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Keep on trucking.
Woo!
So we kind of got excited about this movement because we believe in freedom of choice and freedom of bodily autonomy and making our own decisions as families, and so it really piqued our interest, and so we thought, well, originally let's just decorate our truck and go to Ottawa and go and support and see what it's all about. And then that quickly blossomed into a few people having some ideas about putting some food together. The people in the convoy, they've traveled a long way, they're going to want to have some good food, and so how can we best serve them for what they've done? And so that's kind of what it started for us. And so we had initially planned just to stay, go up on the Friday and stay Saturday, Sunday. And as the kids will tell you, what we experienced on the Friday night and the Saturday was nothing short of something very beautiful, and carried into Sunday, the love and the unity and just the testimonies and of different people all over the country coming together with different testimonies of how the mandates had affected them, and then people coming together in the name of freedom. It just touched us, and so we just, as a family, came Sunday night. We just decided, wait a second, we can't leave. We're gonna keep the food tent going, and we're going to stick this out with this group. And the convoy grew on us. We just we fell in love with so many people there, and we felt so unified with it.
Feeding truckers and see how thankful they were and appreciated was just amazing.
Personally, I heard story after story about how thankful people were that we were there and that we were helping support, that we were keeping the truckers there more than anything.
Yelling freedom and screaming, woohoo! A lot of that, a lot of freedom. There was a lot of cool flags. Like a lot of cool decorated trucks.
Just the love, and again, like you had the odd hater who was telling you to go home, but you got these truckers who you'd bring a muffin and a hot coffee up to them, and they'd just be telling you like just how much of a godsend you were, and just like thanking you so much for being there. And
where I saw so many Canadians unify together in courage, and they felt like they had a voice. And when it was all over, it felt like we didn't want to lose that voice. And so I think that's my message is that, people ask me all the time, like, how do you feel like now that it's over? And I'm like, it's not over. It has just started.
So the experience that we went in Ottawa, none of us knew what we were really going there to do, but we knew we needed to change something, I guess. And but once you're in it and you feel the support from the people and the world that woke up from it, was probably the most important thing we've ever will experience or be part of in our lives. And the federal mandate's still there, along with a lot of other things. And people will say, well, there was already going to drop the provincial mandates, which was untrue. Nobody knows how long they would have pushed them on for, which they're already starting to bring them back. I think Quebec already has a mask mandate back on.
Oh, they do, eh?
Yeah, and they're pushing that 4th dose onto the senior citizens. I don't understand what they're just hardcore on get your shots. But then everybody's seen what happened at the end of Ottawa. I think every human right has been violated on every level.
So you were down in Ottawa, like, from the start?
Yep. We were on Bank and Laurier. Sat beside a 14-story apartment building.
Right on.
Unfortunate for them, but everybody said get out of our city, but unfortunately Ottawa is all of our city because that's where business has to be dealt with. And we were shunned and ignored and called a lot of things that we're not. That's not appreciated. And we got a lot of unfinished business to do in Ottawa. Unfortunate for them. And so at the end of it, everybody was kind of scattered, didn't know what to do. We already knew that we won to a degree, but it's not, it's far from over. The country's broke, and the citizens have a moral obligation to fix it. But you can't rely on the government to fix it, because they're not going to fix it. And if they do, it's only the way they see it. And we can't allow that, because I don't think we're the fringe minority. I think we're the fringe majority. And we don't want to live in the world that they, I don't know, dream of. I don't understand. The WEF has got a pretty big picture in it. But for us, citizens and blue-collar and low, middle-class and lower-class citizens of the country, everyone needs to rise up. Hold the line means hold the line. And the drivers and everyone that was there in Ottawa showed the path to hold the line. And they held it to the bitter end, which it had to end the way it did to show the tyranny of the government to its fullest extent. And they did it in a fabulous manner.
Nice. Yeah.
So, thanks, Trudeau. Letting everybody see what your shit's all about. So then we decided to go out and meet the rest of the country, the ones that couldn't make it to Ottawa, and started the Great Canadian Cruise. And we just go to little town or big cities, support your local ralliers or protesters, whatever they want to be called, and join them, but get to meet our neighbors, fellow Canadians, new or old. Because it's something that's been lacking in the world, I think, for a long time. And it means something when you shake somebody's hand or you hug them, you look them in the eye and you ask them what their name is and where they're from. And it sparks a connection between the country. Like you said, Quebec has come out with us. You got Quebecers running Canadian flags. Surprise. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And they're proud to be Canadians. They don't feel like they're... But and Quebec is its own virus, because the rest of Canada doesn't know the problems in Quebec, and the reason for it is because all their news and everything they watch is in French. But it's the most corrupt province, I think, out there. It's sickening what the people in Quebec will tell you what goes on in their province. If anybody needs help, it's them, and they're all the way out here with us. Like Quebec and Alberta. Quebec flag flying in Alberta. Yes.
Awesome. Absolutely.
But the same
awesome.
thing with them, they said they can't give up. We can never stop. We can't not stop. The pressure needs to be kept on all the time. It's the only way to show. And now that the weather's nicer, for everybody that's scared of the cold, you just can all come out and spend a little bit more time with us.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, so we're going to go back to Ottawa at the end of this month for the Rolling Thunder and show them support and meet them, since they couldn't make it out. A lot of people can't afford to get there, so you got to rally in your own city. But we're going to go there and spend the summer in Ottawa, so we'll get to know them on a personal basis.
Right on. Well, thank you so much. And what do people are calling
Just
your
follow
truck
the
Big
great.
Red? Or-
Yeah, well, it's not Big Red. I can't take the thunder away from Chris Barber. His was the original and only
Yeah.
Big Red. A lot of people call it Big Red 2.0. It's
You
just
were
happened to be,
Travis?
I'm Travis, and it just so happened to be another Red Kenworth that took his spot, I think. But we owe it to them, the ones who led the first charge in, to never give up the fight in honor of them for what they've done and the sacrifices they've made. We love them all.
Right on.
Like, one more thing, like we went down, there's still 12 political prisoners from Coots in the Lethbridge jail, so we went down and rolled the jail one night, spent the night, rolled it the next morning to let them know that we never left them for one night, that we stayed in Lethbridge. But they're all political prisoners and they all need to be released. And I don't think we'll stop until that happens. Charges dropped, lawsuits dropped, because nothing we did or they did was illegal. Blowing your horn apparently is illegal, driving your motor, but there's nothing that we did was illegal, and they don't deserve what they're getting. So they can watch from afar, but they can't be part of it. But I've told lots of officers, where one will fall, another will rise. This will never end. We'll blow our horns for another 12 months if we have to. So there's many of us. We just got to all collectively come together at one point. So we're going to hang out in Ottawa for the summer. Come visit. Canada Day should be amazing. And if Trudeau cancels Canada Day, we'll celebrate Canada Day outside of Ottawa.
I'm Troy Flad, and I just live here in Alberta, a small little hamlet called Warburg, Alberta. And so I'm a farmer, a rancher, and then in the summertime I race a chuck wagon as well. So that's going to have a whole different little bit of a movement coming up through the summer here. And so when I left home, I was feeding 280 head of cows, and I probably shouldn't have left home, but I did to join the convoy, because at that time I just was going because it was cool. And so me and one of my buddies of 30 years, we team drove because we were only going to go to Ottawa for 3 days. We were going to leave there Wednesday at noon. It didn't happen. So he was down in, Monty was down in Colorado dropping off a load of bison. And I'd left home at 12:30 that night. We met in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. From Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, we team drove until we caught the group leaving Thunder Bay that morning. When we caught the group leaving Thunder Bay, we still didn't know anybody until we met at Cochrane that night. We met a few drivers there, and I couldn't get on the Zello, so didn't realize that they were on a different radio channel than normal truck drivers are. And so then we met up, and then we got into Arnprior, and I met a couple more guys, Randy and Aaron. They were from High Level and Lacrete. And then from there we tootled into Ottawa, and we were sitting out on the, I don't know, the Segway or whatever you want to call it out there by the river, and we ended up getting downtown Ottawa later that night. One of the girls that I'd met in Cochrane, her name was Stephanie. I called her Beth because I like the show Yellowstone. And so, and she was traveling with her stepdaughter, and so I called them Beth and Girl. And then we ended up staying at Metcalf and Albert Street for 22 days. And that was, you know, we only really went, we were going to leave there 3 days later when we were leaving home, because Monty wanted to get home for his son's hockey game, and I feeding all these cows. I had tub grinders coming in to make feed and stuff on the weekend, so I wanted to be home, but it didn't. So we stayed, and I think we made a great impact as a, you know, I kind of said we were like lions, or the big trucks were like lions. They're big, they're shiny, they're beautiful to look at, but they're intimidating as well. And that's kind of what we were. We went and laid at Pride Rock with a bunch of big lions, and the rest of the world just slowly kept watching and viewing and waking up. And I think now we've really woke up a lot of people. And so we held the line for 22 days. We left at the end. As they were coming down the hill with the squads there. It wasn't even the police. They were using tear gas, and they were just they were being pretty relentless with a lot of the innocent bystanders that were coming in that day. They weren't even truckers. They were just supporters, and they were people for Canada. And so when Trudeau and that, so yeah, we were the last block, and our block never did shuffle around or move. I know some of the other blocks were doing slow rolls and shuffling around and moving things up. Our block stayed solid for 22 days, and so I stayed in the truck, I think 18 or 19 days. There was a couple nights I stayed in a room with a couple people there and just to get out of the truck. And that was really cold weather down there. It was harsh for us Albertans. We weren't really used to that, but I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. The experience, the people that we met, the friendships that we've built now are gonna last forever. So, and I'll say, when I left Alberta, I was a full-fledged separatist. I am now a full-fledged Canadian. And the people down east, we've been bred and taught and brainwashed to hate each other. And that was our government. So I am a full-fledged Albertan now with a Canadian attitude.